All right, welcome back to Perdido Key Gaming. It's about 90 degrees outside here on Perdido Key down here on the Emerald Coast. A lot humid. Haven't had rain in a couple of days, so I guess I better turn on my sprinkler system. Anyway, I thought I'd go into some other card game other than Magic the Gathering. I've been doing some role-playing stuff, and hopefully I'll be able to show you some of my Rollmaster campaign that I'm getting set up. Right now I'm working on races and, things like that. Today, here's a different card game. Okay, this is more for the casual player, things like that. Doesn't require a board or anything. It's just a typical card game in the fashion of Netrunner or some of those other games like that. I forget the other one, Five Rings, the one basically Japanese type game and things like that, where you have characters and you're attacking and doing stuff like that. But yeah, I already cracked this one open because I like to read rules and stuff like that. And honestly, haven't played it yet. It does, this is the basic one. You can get on some of the other some sites and buy expansion packs or whatever. Probably more adventures, because the whole premise behind this is, you're going through dungeons and adventures and things like that. It comes with a bunch of tokens that you use during the game. I don't know what the heck proof of purchase is for. I better check that out. But of course, came out, quite a few years ago. Everybody riding the Lord of the Rings sensation after the movies and everything like that. And it's, if you haven't read Tolkien, of course, it's absolutely fantastic. The Hobbit, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Silmarillion. He was a professor at Oxford, and he did a lot of books and studies and things like that on Old English and those types of influences, and absolutely, it seems kind of, straightforward these days, but I mean, you're talking about The Hobbit was written during World War I, which was over 100 years ago, and but it still rings true. I don't know how many games based, especially role-playing games, base their entire existence on the fact that Lord of the Rings, the trilogy and the adventure and everything like that. So, but you make decks. The decks are based around types of characters. You've got your leadership type decks. You've got tactics, spirit, and lore. And you created a scenario encounter deck, and you set up a play area. And basically, you're playing against an AI. I believe this game is cooperative. You got your heroes, and they're all working together to try to knock down the threat, which is, AI based and everything like that. But it comes with, like I said, the counters, your playbook, or rules book, I should say, which is, short and to the point. Well, short for 30 some odd pages. You've got kind of sort of a scenario, your players, the score points, you got to defend against the enemy, you got to use your cards to buff up your guy so when you're attacking the enemy. But it seems kind of interesting, especially if it's a casual game. You'd probably be over with, playing this game after 30 or so minutes. You travel from location to location. You make engagement checks. You're attacking, you're defending. Some, some types of decks are better against certain kinds of opponents and everything. Here's some of the cards haven't been removed, but there's Aragorn. Of course, he's one of the heroes. I believe he is a leadership hero. He is, the long forgotten king and everything like that. But yeah, sure. You got your character decks. You've got cards that go into the adventure deck and everything like that. Let's see, break out these cards. Basic, but action cards. There's some of your encounter guys. Obviously, you're going to have your Uruk-hai, your orcs, and since this mostly starts out in the Mirkwood Forest, of course there's going to be spiders and everything like that, and looks like some things to hook cards together. But that's basically it, when it comes right down to it. There's nothing else, but, it's pretty basic as far as a game goes. I would say that, the more adventures you go on, it's, you buy those decks probably, I would imagine, since this game was, $30 or something like that, that the adventures themselves are probably going to be randomly priced $14.99, $19.99. Guess I should have done my research. But yes, it's not just the same adventure over and over again. Of course, your characters can go on more adventures, the more stuff you add to this, which of course is the main point around these. Not necessarily, this is a living card game, so it's not a collectible card game like Magic the Gathering. But otherwise, casual, set it up, play in 30 minutes. Perfect for, after dinner kind of gaming or something like that. And that's about it I've got for this. I've got a couple more of these, the 5 Rings, like I was talking about, 5 Rings game. That's more in the same genre. I believe they were published by the same folks. And of course, Netrunner, got a copy of that. I could show that. Some of these board games, it's kind of hard to find people who want to come over for 30 minutes, so, you want to make it, a Saturday gaming type thing, or maybe a Friday night gaming type thing. Although Friday night, you should go to your local game store and, play one of their games. Magic the Gathering, ours down here that I've seen does a lot of Warhammer and things like that, so that's always fun. Some really old games. But anyway, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed a little show off of Lord of the Rings, the card game, living card game from, guess I should have said something about that. It's a living card game. From, Fantasy Flight, of course. Should have known that, right? Anyway, please hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling me what kind of games you like to play on a gaming night. And we'll see you back later for some more Magic the Gathering and other games.